Hi guys, so I'm here to share with you some news in the maritime industry in Ghana. So let's get right into it. 1. We have enhancing maritime education and industry participation in Ghana. Maritime transportation is the backbone of international trade, handling most of the world's commerce and ensuring the efficient movement of goods and commodities between nations. Seafarers are crucial to this network, maintaining ship operation, ensuring safety, and securing cargo. However, the industry faces an imminent shortage of seafarers, threatening global maritime stability. In response, the International Maritime Organization, that is the IMO, launched the Go to Sea campaign to address this shortage, especially among seafarers, essential for the future of shipping. Ghana, with its strategic initiatives and robust maritime education system, stands poised to tackle this global challenge and reap significant economic benefits. This article explores how expanding maritime education, transitioning to an open ship registry, and investing in a training ship that can position Ghana as a leading maritime nation. Current state of the maritime education in Ghana. Ghana's maritime education is led by the Ghana Maritime Authority (GMA), operating under the Ministry of Transport. The Ghana Maritime Authority collaborates with the Regional Maritime University to issue internationally recognized certificates of competence and proficiency to seafarers who complete approved courses. These certifications comply with the standards of training, certification and watchkeeping (STCW) convention, ensuring Ghanaian seafarers meet global standards. The recent enactment of the Ghana Shipping Regulation 2021 Act LI 2438 highlights Ghana's commitment to enhancing regulation, reserves a significant percentage of maritime jobs for Ghanaian seafarers on foreign vessels operating within Ghana's maritime jurisdiction. The Philippines, the world's largest supplier of seafarers, demonstrates the economic potential of a robust seafaring workforce. Breaking the monopoly. Expanding maritime education. Currently, the RMU holds a monopoly on maritime education in Ghana. While RMU has played a crucial role in training seafarers, this monopoly limits options for students and can constrain the growth of maritime education. To foster competition, improve educational standards, and increase accessibility, expanding maritime education to other universities is essential. So, moving on to the next news. Ghana wins 3-year maritime boundary dispute case against Ivory Coast. The International Tribunal of the Law of the Sea on Saturday unanimously ruled that Ghana did not violate the rights of the Ivory Coast in oil exploration within and beyond 200 nautical miles. The Hamburg-based court also ruled that Ghana is not entitled to pay any reparation to Ivory Coast for the exploration of oil within the disputed boundary in the Atlantic Ocean. The dispute started since Ghana's discovery of oil in 2007, which Ivory Coast laid claims to. series of failed negotiations led Ghana to file a case at the ITLOS in 2014 to rule on the delimitation of the maritime boundary between the two countries. A special chamber was formed in 2015, presided over by ITLOS Vice President Bolem Bogitai, and included another member of the tribunal with 2 ad hoc judges to deal with the dispute. The court redefined the boundary in its ruling, which said the single maritime boundary beyond 200 nautical miles should start at BP 55 plus with the coordinates 05 degree 05 apostrophe 23.2 apostrophe N, 03 degree 06 apostrophe 21.2 apostrophe W in WGS 84 as a geodetic datum. The boundary continues as a geodetic line starting at an azimuth of 191 degree 38,06.7 apostrophe until it reaches the outer limits of the continental shelf, it added. This reduces just a little of Ghana's boundary claim of geographic coordinates 05 degree 05, 28.4 apostrophe N and 03 degree 06, 21.8 apostrophe W. It also goes against the Ivory Coast's claim that the single maritime boundary follows the 168.70 azimuth line. The court rejected Ghana's claim to bar Ivory Coast from objecting to the customary equidistance boundary. The ruling means Ghana can keep its oil concessions and develop the Cheneboa, Eyira, and Etomi oil fields in the area with hopes of boosting production. Let's move on to the other news. Ghana's new maritime law promises improved efficiency. Amendments to Ghana's 50-year-old shipping law tackles excessive port fees and repositions the country as a transit route for landlocked neighbors. Key trade associations in Ghana are optimistic that the recently enacted Ghana Shippers Authority law will streamline operations, eliminate bottlenecks, and address the excessive fees charged by the country's ports. The associations agreed that the new law will empower regulators to safeguard the interests of shipping lines, maritime service providers, and the broader business community. President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dak, was upbeat about the new law following a private meeting with the Ghana Standard Authority regarding its implementation, noting that shippers can now engage in fairer negotiations with agents. The Association of Ghana Industries, situated in the principal position, believes this is a welcoming document to strengthen the business community. To the shipper, it gives us the capacity to engage with our agents in a very equitable manner. The role of the Ghana Standard Authority is well defined. They have become like a referee in creating the equity that is needed for doing business, especially at the points of entry, he stated. Objectives of the new law. The new legislation amends the existing 50-year-old legislation and aims to regulate the commercial activities of shippers. The law specifically targets unfair and excessive charges that have been a burden on traders using Ghana's sea and airports, as well as land borders for international trade. The law further mandates the Ghana Standard Authority must now negotiate and approve all charges in the commercial shipping sector, including port fees, handling charges and other related costs that have previously been imposed by service providers. Additionally, the law seeks to position Ghana as a preferred transit trade channel for its landlocked neighbors, including Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, a strategy that, if successful, will enhance the sector's financial contribution to the economy. Reducing business costs. Dr. Joseph Obin, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is optimistic that the new law implementation will positively impact the cost of doing business in Ghana. We have been facing a lot of challenges with the shipping lines. That is why we have propagated that the Ghana Standard Authority's laws are revised to have proper control. The cost of doing business at the ports is too high. So if this law seeks to empower the Ghana Standard Authority to approve or disapprove charges, then we can now have some respite to do our business to grow, he remarked. Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Kofi Ahen-Kramafo, who represented the government at the meeting, assured stakeholders that further engagement will take place to ensure the law's effective implementation. Let's move on to the next news. KAIPTC, which is the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, launches Code of Protection for Women in Maritime Industry. The Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center has launched a code of practice for women in the maritime security domain to help protect them in the maritime and security space. The CPWMS was designed as a product of the project on integrated responses to threats in maritime safety and security in the Gulf of Guinea maritime domain in West and Central Africa. Implemented by the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center for the coastal countries to promote the welfare of women and advancement of women in the framework of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 in 2000. The pioneering document, which was launched last Tuesday at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center in Accra in collaboration with the government of Denmark, comes highly recommended as a guide for the promotion of the rights, empowerment and welfare of women to leaders of maritime security agencies in both public and private sectors, and tasked with the responsibility of ensuring the advancement of women in the maritime security domain. The Code of Practice covers issues such as gender equality and empowerment, equal participation, human rights and dignity, diversity and inclusion, conflict sensitivity, local ownership and sustainability, and cultural sensitivity, among others. The commandant of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Major General Richard Ado Jani noted that the code of practice was necessitated by the imbalances faced by men and women in policy implementation in the discharge of their duties, which is full of multifaceted challenges encompassing piracy, illicit fishing, and ecological deterioration. He said in correcting the imbalances, the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center designed the Code of Practice to distill a set of guiding principles for promoting women in the maritime domain and eliminate institutional procedures and practices that stifle or impair the advancement of women in that domain. Role of GAF. For his part, the Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Isa Adam Yakubu, described the Maritime Code of Practice as a commitment to change and a beacon guiding us towards a future where women are empowered to also stand at the helm, to navigate through storms, and to lead with strength and wisdom. He noted that the Ghana Armed Forces has put in place measures to increase female recruits to 25% by 2028 from the current 15%. This, he said, would ensure the military reflected the society and eventually reached a ratio that reflected the country's nearly even ratio. Commitment. In his address, the Danish ambassador to Ghana, Tom Noring, expressed the Danish government's commitment to integrating women's perspectives into maritime security policies and ensuring gender-responsive policies become standard across the Gulf of Guinea. Mr. Noring further stated that Denmark was collaborating with the UNODC to establish a regional network of maritime professionals, both governmental and non-governmental, with a focus on advancing the women, peace and security agenda. Let's move on to the next news. Ghana Boundary Commission and Navy conduct maritime inspection. The Ghana Boundary Commission, in partnership with the Ghana Navy, has carried out the third maritime boundary inspection exercise along the western frontiers of Ghana's maritime domain. This four-day MBI exercise, which spanned from Monday, April 8th to Thursday, April 11, 2024, was conducted around the Trinebua and Uram in Tome oil fields, covering a total distance of 271 nautical miles. The main goal of the exercise was to evaluate the condition of the western maritime boundary line to ensure the absence of any illegal activities or infringements along the maritime boundary with Côte d'Ivoire. This inspection was conducted as a part of the enforcement of the International Tribunal of Laws of the Sea ruling on the maritime boundary disputes between Ghana and Ivory Coast. So let's move on to the next news. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority begins process of developing a maritime single window system. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has begun processes to develop a maritime single window system to manage vessel traffic. Mr. Michael Achagui Luguje, the Director General of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, disclosing this, said the maritime single window would also help in managing the working relationship with other key stakeholders in the clearance chain. Mr. Luguji, who revealed this during GPHA's media forum, said it would add up to the existing Integrated Customs Management System (ICOMS) and the paperless port clearance system, which have all together given a major facelift to port transactions. Touching on port clearance in 2023, he said even though cargo handled by the Port of Ghana last year was 1,000,000 tons short of the 2022 figures, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority did not relent on its mission to retool the ports. He said this was evident in the gains made in that year when it came to the acquisition of modern state-of-the-art machinery and equipment, which included new marine crafts, cranes, reach stackers and forkliftings, among others. He said a lot of progress was made in the various infrastructural projects, indicating that NPS Terminal 3 saw a fleet of 15 state-of-the-art gantry cranes delivered at the terminal in addition to the commencement of civil works for a 270,000 square meter area, which would expand the terminal's footprint from 100 hectares to an impressive 127 hectares. According to the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority boss, this investment had already translated into the direct call of the world's biggest vessel at the Tema port. Mr. Luguji said that the much-awaited multi-purpose and container terminal has been completed in Takoradi and operated by indigenous firm Atlantic Terminal Services Limited and Turkish firm Yilport Holdings. The Director General revealed that the oil and gas terminal was expected to be completed before the end of 2024. He revealed that the ultra-modern dry bulk terminal at the port of Takoradi had also been fitted with modern conveyor systems and eco hoppers to augment the port's capacity to handle increased volumes of bauxite, manganese, clinker, gypsum, limestones, and other varieties of bulk cargoes significant to everyday domestic and industrial use. He indicated that the initiatives in Takoradi were part of the GPH's master plan to diversify the service offerings of the various ports to cater for the growing demand. He said that the Keta Port project remains a priority of the GPHA and government and was recently in its environmental, social, and impact assessment stage. He said his outfit was doing its best to make the port the preferred choice in West and Central Africa, hence the need for importers and exporters to continue to keep faith with them.